Hello students, I'm going to share more information about the format of the proposal hearing, especially on the other part like cover page and methodology. So this is in response to the common suggestions coming from the um, I think last Tuesday's face-to-face class. So I want to emphasize on the format of the title. It must be capitalized all the letters and it is not in bold. You can also observe here that it is a single space, not a double space. So we need to change the College of Technology and Allied Sciences into College of Business and Management. And we have this month. So expectedly that after this semester, it is in the month of May. So you need to put May 2024. Okay, so you can observe here there are two kinds or two types of cover page. This first one and the second one. So the second cover page is more detailed compared to first cover page. So let's proceed to the second cover page. Same format also. It must be capitalized all the letter. And there are more specific details here in which you are going to put the name of the students. Again, I will emphasize that you need to put the name of the leader in the first part, okay? And then proceed to the names of the members. Same also, there is a month and year. And you can also observe here, there's a partial fulfillment of the requirements for the degree in Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management. And there are 3 lines in between the details here. Again, you need to change this from CITAS to CBM. And since this is still a proposal, so you need to put a thesis proposal is presented to the faculty. Again, a thesis proposal is then presented to faculty of the CBM. Okay, again, there are 3 lines. The title is not in bold, and please capitalize all the letters. So again, approval sheet is not yet part of the proposal, also with acknowledgement, and also the abstract. And also for the clarification of the students during the face-to-face class, you need to include also the table of contents. And since we are still in chapter 1, please only include chapter 1, this part. So chapter 2, so you need to remove this or do not put the chapter 2 and chapter 3 yet in the table of contents. So you need to move forward in the reference list down to researchers biodata. So for example, the last page of your chapter 1 is page 22. So in your reference list, it must be page 23. Okay. Also the list of figures. You also have this one. List of tables. Okay, again for the chapter 1, there's no page number here at the top right. But in the second page of chapter 1, there is a page 2. Okay, and please take note on the format in citation, especially on it al. So you can observe there's no comma after the last name, there's no period after the et, and there's a comma after the period, after the al, if it is in the last part of the paragraph. And the period is after the closing parenthesis, not in the last word of the paragraph. Because some of you put period after the last word of the paragraph, so that is not correct. And also, if you put the citation in the first part of the paragraph, only the year must be inside of the parentheses. Okay. The last part, all the information is inside the parentheses. But if it is in the first part of the paragraph, only the year. Okay, I hope it's clear. So now, let's proceed to the methodology. So you are already done with the problem. Significance of the study, limitation, scope and limitations, if you will include this one. And now we are in the research methodology. So this is important reminders. All the information here must be in a future tense. Since this is still a proposal, we are not yet conducted the study. Okay, this is a proposal. This is part of the planning. So we need to use the future tense. So in this sample, this is already a past tense since this study is already conducted. So you can see here, this is a past tense conducted. So since it is only a proposal, so the right term that you need to use is the researchers will. Okay, the researchers will conduct a quantitative. So it must be in a future tense. Same with the other paragraph. The research will be conducted in anda, etc. Okay, so you need to review all the terms that is being used, especially in the research methodology part. Now, one important thing also about the research design. So again, majority of our study is a quantitative research. That is why we can read here a lot of study sample. We have used the word quantitative research, and it is a descriptive survey because we use a questionnaire. Okay, method using questionnaire as the data gathering tool. Now we can see here that use the term descriptive. Okay, because there is no inferential. What is inferential? Inferential statistics. We can check the SOP here. So we can observe that there is no inferential in this part. What is the sign that the SOP has an inferential? For example, in the question number 4, there is a term like, is there a significant difference or is there a significant relationship? So in this SOP, we can observe that there is no inferential. There's no term like, is there a significant relationship or is there a significant difference? So that's why they are only using the word or the term descriptive. So how about those study that have a inferential, like is there a significant relationship? So if there's a sub-problem like is there a significant relationship, so we need to use the term descriptive correlational. Again, what is that? If there's a word relationship, descriptive correlational. How about this significant difference? Descriptive comparative. Okay, if it is difference, descriptive comparative. If it is relationship, descriptive correlational. If there's no differences, relationship, there's no inferential statistics that we're going to use, you only use the word descriptive. Okay, or descriptive survey method. Okay, that's for research design. Now let's proceed to the research environment. So just put the information about your research environment. For example, if you will conduct a study in Anda Bohol, you need to write the information regarding Anda Bohol. If your research design is about the establishment, you need to mention the basic information about the resorts. Now for the research respondents, what is the sampling used in selecting respondents. So you can ask this on the statistician, if you will, or you can give a comments here during the proposal hearing. Okay, so there's different kinds of sampling techniques, so you need to take note on this one. There is a purposive sampling, there is a fishbowl sampling, there's a random sampling, there's a stratified sampling, there's also stratified random sampling, and there are many kinds of sampling techniques. So I suggest that you will ask this to the statistician, again Dr. Emelu Maputol, for the right term that you're going to use here. And again, this is an optional because you can still put different sampling technique here, and we will give a comments after the proposal hearing. And again, please, you need to read all the information of your manuscript, because there are still certain things that you cannot able to identify the errors. For example, here you did not able to identify that there is a space after the T. Okay, so you need to review that, and then you need to use the future tense, not a past tense, since this is still a proposal hearing. Now let's proceed to the research instrument. So we need to explain and describe our questionnaire. For example, you have 3 parts of your questionnaire. You need to write here the different parts of your questionnaire. For example, part 1 about the respondent's profile, part 2 about the depends on your study, and part 3 example problems encountered. So you need to explain the parts of your questionnaire in the research instrument part. Also, if you adopted a questionnaire coming from other study, so you need to acknowledge the author of that questionnaire. Okay, for example, this instrument is adopted in the questionnaire of Miss Kano JB, for example, or Kano 2023 of his study entitled blah blah blah. Okay, so you need to acknowledge also the author of the questionnaire that you adopted, or as being your guide on the questionnaire that you have in your study. Okay, so you need to include also, for example, if you use the scaling. Okay, so this is the example of scale, categorical response, and verbal interpretation. So you need to put also here in the research instrument part. Now let's proceed to the research procedure. So you need to put here, explain what are the process on the what is your plan in gathering the data. So what are the procedures? So you need to put here the steps. Okay, like for example, asking permission, approval from the campus director, from the dean, approval from the resort owners, so on and so forth. And then you need to put also the treatment of data. Again, this is the basic. This is a common formula, percentage formula, frequency count, and weighted mean. So the percentage formula and frequency count is usually used in the respondent's profile. Again, percentage formula and frequency count were usually used in the respondent's profile. And the weighted mean were usually used in the subproblem number 2 or subproblem number 3. Okay, so the weighted mean, this is indicated for the scaling, like 4, 3, 2, 1. We need to compute the weighted mean. But for the percentage formula and frequency count, we're just simply counting the numbers of the employees who check on the specific options, like for example, female and male. Okay, so we need to just simply count the number of males, the number of females. So we have this percentage formula and frequency count. This is usually used in the respondent's profile. And the weighted mean is for the scaling.